Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our Tech Spark. My name is Andrew. I handle our Meanwhile USA's direct OEM sales for the West Coast. I'll be your host for today, and I'm joined by Karim. He is our field applications engineer. And the topic today is our brand new DIN Rail product series, the XDR and the XTR product families. So we'll be going over some of the key features, and then hopefully after today, you guys will have some incentive to switch to this new product series. So as you guys know, the SDR, NDR, EDR, and TDR series have been on the market for quite a while now, with over 100 million units sold since inception. So clearly these series have built quite a strong reputation and following with our international markets. And for that reason, Meanwhile decided to develop a new series that comes with things like size reduction, more safety certifications, and overall just better performance. So I'm going to kick it over to Karim, who's going to be going over some of the key features of starting with the XDR-E series.
Yeah, good morning, Andrew. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for hosting me. So for the XDR-E series, this is the new series that Meanwhile developed to replace, as Andrew mentioned, the SDR, NDR, and EDR series. So the E stands for the economic power supply, this is going to be the first feature of this series for replacing the old series. It's cost effective. Why? Because of it's automated production. So this is the first feature. And here we offer 75 watts up to 960. So we have 75, 120, 150, 240, and 480, and 960 watts. And here the next feature for this power supply is the universal AC input from 85 to up to 260. So you have 120, 208, 230, 240, you can use the power supply. And the next feature here, the working temperature range, it's starting from -40 to 70 Celsius. If you compare this to the old generation, you're gonna see at -40, it can be like benefit for the cold start. And here is the next feature is the biggest advantage of the power supply. It's a slim size. So here is the most benefit. It's for I have like 3 examples here. If you have the XDR 120, if you compare this to the SDR 120, you're gonna save 25% size reduction. And for the 240 module, if you compare also with the SDR, you're gonna save up to 37% reduction. And for the 480, up to 44% reduction. And then the next feature here is the high efficiency. The efficiency here is much better and higher than the old generation, starting from 89 up to 96. It depends on the module, it depends on the voltage, it depends on like which power range you're gonna use it. And the next feature is the various DC output voltage. So in the previous generation, we don't have the 36 volt. So here we adding the 36 volt, depend on our customer demand. In the past few years, there is many projects that they need the 36. So that's why Meanwhile decide to add the 36 volt, and we have also the 12 volt. Also, the old generation does not have the 12 volt for the 240 and 480. So with the XDR series, we have added here. And lastly, for this slide, is the active current sharing. This power supply has the capability for the XDR 480 and 960 to connect up to 4 units in parallel to extend the power range.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so clearly it looks like the XDR-E is a new and improved version of the previous SDR, NDR, and EDR models.
Yeah.
And yeah, something that we also added was new safety certification. So starting with 61558. So this is a safety standard, if you guys didn't know already. It's for power transformers and power supplies, including these DIN rail power supplies that cover some general requirements in the industrial field and commercial field, such as electrical insulation, thermal performance, and protection against electrical shock as well. And it ensures that the PSU is safe in these industrial and commercial environments with features such as short circuit protection and safer temperature limits during operation as well. And then, of course, you guys are probably all familiar with 62368 already. This is a very general safety standard that can be found across pretty much all of our power supplies for audio, video, IT, and communication equipment. And this is basically just a designed to prevent users from harm under normal and faulty conditions. And then lastly, a new safety certification that we pre-certified this power supply for is 61010, UL 61010. So this is specifically for use in laboratory, measurement, and industrial control environments, that kind of equipment. And for DIN rail power supply specifically, it ensures protection against, again, electrical shock, fire, and mechanical hazards as well. So compliance to this means that it's suitable for use in these test and measurement setups, and comes with robust insulation and more reliable performance in these more demanding environments. And now I want to transition and kick it back over to Karim. He's going to talk about our XDR series. It's a little bit confusing, but this is essentially the premium version of the E version. Again, the E stands for economic or economical. The XDR is the premium version of the E version, right?
Yeah, so the XDR series is totally brand new unit that Meanwhile has never offered before. So this is a new series product, and this one, the XDR, this is gonna be comparison with the XDRE. So the first thing here, we're gonna see the AC input voltage is a little bit different compared to the XDRE. It's here up to 305, which is covered the 277. So for the customer, they wanna the input voltage to put 277, so they can use the XDR. And the next feature here, we expanded here, the design expanded the working temperature range. So here it can goes up to 85 Celsius in comparison to the XDRE, it's up to just 70. So there is a 15 Celsius difference. And the inrush current. So the power supply here is designed to limit the inrush current to 10 amp at 230. So as you guys know, in the inrush current, this is causing the power and the circuit breaker to trip. So to limiting the inrush current, this has helped the customer to adding more power supply on the same circuit breaker. So that's why we add this function to this series. And lastly, here in this slide, we have the Modbus communication we added for the XTR 240, 480, and 960.
Gotcha. And do you know why Meanwhile decided to add Modbus to the XDR?
Yeah, so based on the customer feedback in the past few years, and also most of the automation system, they already has the Modbus. So it's cool feature to have it and added on the system. So the customer, they can add the power supply to their existing system, and that's gonna help them for monitoring and controlling the power supply. So this is gonna be integrated system.
Okay, got it. Thank you. And it looks like there's some more features on here that are not included on the XDRE.
Yeah, so here we have the 200 peak power or 600, or both of them, 200 peak power and 600 peak current. So this is basically for if the customer is using for the inductive and capacitive load, so he can use this power supply for this reason. And here it comes with 5 years warranty. For the E version, the economical version is just comes with 3 years warranty. Here we also have adding the terminal types. So we have here 3 different terminal types. We have the screw terminal, we have the lever actuated, and we have the push-in. So the different type, this is just to be easy for the technician for the wire installation. So this is gonna be much easier for the installation and save time for the technician. And lastly here, we have added the conformal coating. So conformal coating like provide the power supply to protect the power supply from dust, moisture, and chemical, and also improve the isolation of the power supply and the reliability. And plus it has the active current sharing, but in the other series is starting from 480, here is starting from 240 watts.
Got it. Okay, thank you for sharing. So yeah, if you guys feel like your customers need more features such as peak power, longer warranty, and these convenient screw terminals and lever actuated push-in terminals for ease of installation, then definitely consider looking into the XDR series. And similar to the XDRE series, it comes with the exact same certifications, 61558, 62368, and 61010 pre-certified. However, it does come with some bonus certifications, more industry specific. So number 1 would be the Semi F47. So if you guys aren't aware of this already, It is the safety standard for power supplies, specifically for semiconductor equipment, to ensure that they can withstand short voltage sags without failing in between. So for these DIN rail power supplies like the XDR, for example, in industrial automation, this compliance to SEMI F47 basically just means higher reliability and then reduced downtime during these voltage dips or sags. And this is very critical in semiconductor and automation environments with these, etching or fabrication equipment, where consistent power is very essential, because one lapse in power just for like a second or two, it can cost a company thousands and thousands of dollars. And then secondly would be the Class 1 Division 2, or C1D2 for short. So C1D2 DIN rail power supplies, they're designed for hazardous environments or locations where there's flammable gases, vapors, and more hazards are present. And these units, these PSUs, would be built to prevent ignition through non-sparking and these thermally protected designs that are certified to, of course, UL listed certifications to ensure safe operations in these more dangerous and hazardous environments, such as oil and gas refineries or chemical processing facilities. And if you guys want some more in-depth comparison between the XDRE and XDR, I know the names are a little bit confusing right now, but I think if you guys check out the in-depth comparison chart, somebody's going to drop a link in the chat actually soon. You can check it out in our virtual expo, and then you can see like a side-by-side comparison, which will help you visualize the main differences between the two. So now I want to transition into the XTR series, which Karim, I believe this one is going to be the next gen version of the TDR, correct?
Right. So the XTR, it's gonna replace the TDR series. So here, like what we did for the single phase, we're gonna do for the three phase. Here, it's basically the same concept for the XDR. So here, just the difference is three phase. So here the input voltage is three phase or two phase is starting from 320 up to 600 volt. In comparison to the old generation, it's starting from 340 up to 550, which is has expanded the AC input voltage range. And also here the working temperature range here is much better than the old generation. It's starting from cold start 40 Celsius and up to 85 Celsius. And also, this is the biggest advantage also, the size reduction. For the size reduction in comparison to TDR 240 or 480 and 960, we have like a reduction here for the first two with 24%, and for the XDR 960, it's 13% difference. And also the next feature, the high efficiency. The module here, it's provide a high efficiency depend on the voltage and the output power. And also it comes with the different, it's same, the screw terminal. We have the lever actuated and also the push-in types. And it comes also with the active current sharing to expand and extend the output power, and comes with 5 years warranty, conformal coating. And since they're really gonna be mounting on the distribution panel and control panels, so it's already compliant with the overvoltage category 3 standard.
Okay, very nice. And yeah, as for the safety standards, pretty much the same as the XDRE series. It comes with the 61558, 62368, and then 61010 pre-certified. So just to summarize everything we went over today, why should you make the switch to this new series, right? These new XDRE, XDR, or TDR series from our existing DIN rail product offerings. So the first reason would be it's just more cost effective, right? So we mentioned it earlier, the XDRE, XDR and TDR or XTR, these are, they use automated production for a good chunk of the production. And so this will naturally drive down your unit price and the cost for your customer. And also we use higher performance and more cost-effective components. Just overall, the build itself is going to be more inexpensive than compared to the older models. Next would be its form factor. So on average, you're probably seeing a 20 to 30% size reduction in comparison to the previous SDR, NDR, EDR, and TDR models. So this will help reduce your cost of installations and then the distribution panel builds in the production line and assembly lines where these DIN rail power supplies are being used. And then next would be the new safety certification. So we went over this in the previous slides. So 61558, 61010, these are new to the XDR and XTR product series. And these are, of course, more industrial grade standards that are very, very relevant to DIN rail PSU applications. And then we went over this as well, the SEMI F47, pre-certification for semiconductor equipment for voltage sag, and then C1D2, Class 1 Division 2 for more hazardous environments such as gas and oil refineries. And then something we didn't mention earlier, which is pretty cool about these new ones, is that they're actually pre-certified to some new international safety certifications, such as BIS for India, BSMI for Taiwan, KC for Korea, and then CCC for China. So you can sell these in international markets without having to recertify to these standards. Next would be ease of installation, right? So the new push-in and lever actuated terminals will allow these technicians and installers to easily connect the wiring to the PSU. And overall, it's just much easier to install than the previous versions, screw terminal blocks, which require the use of a screwdriver. So again, helps reduce time and of installation and costs that are associated with that as well. Next would be digital control or Modbus communication. So, due to customer feedback and popular demand, we decided to add Modbus communication. We thought, it's time to incorporate this feature into the more automated systems and that are already native to a lot of our customers that use Modbus interface. So it allows them to use remote monitoring and then control the voltage and current remotely for the PSU as well. Overall, just more user-friendly and then requires less manual labor as well on that end. And then lastly, we added conformal coating. I believe this is for the XDR and XTR models. So it's essentially a spray-on substance that goes over the PCB and the critical components, just protects it from dust and moisture, and then helps with insulation as well. And this will just help you to prolong the life of the PSU, and then you can stress less about the product warranty, right? So that does conclude today's Tech Spark. Thank you all for joining. If you have any technical questions, please feel free to contact our technical team. So Karim is here with us today, but you can reach out to Brian and Han as well. So just shoot them an email if you have any questions. And then I do want you guys to mark your calendars for May 29th, 11 a.m. You guys can go ahead and scan this QR code. We're having our next Tech Spark. Fred and Brian, they're going to be going over the international safety marks. So earlier we talked about, the BSMI, BIS marks. So they'll go into a deep dive about these. And then, if you guys have any questions, reach out. And I think we'll go ahead and conclude there. Thank you all for joining today. And we'll go ahead and end off here. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to stay. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day.